Hey, Andrew, welcome back to the channel. Right now we're working on a 2010 Crown Vic. We're doing a window regulator replacement. And one of the things that I got hung up on when I got started doing auto glass was the fact that Ford likes to use the big rivets for fasteners for your window. So for this video today, we're just show, hey, what you need to do to get started on a regular replacement. Some of the things you're gonna need is a mallet, a rivet popper, and if you are using the big rivets to put it back in, you're going to need the big rivet gun and rivets, these type of rivets here. And this regulator we purchased actually came with rivets, which is a first. I've never purchased a regulator and it came with them. Because back in the day when I got started, I didn't have the big rivet gun, so what we had to do was just get nut and bolts. So when you go back to put your window back in, this isn't the correct size. Instead of having the rivets, I would insert the bolt and put a nut on there and tighten it. So that's what would fasten the window to the regulator. But right now we're just going to remove the regulator, or the window from the regulator, so we can do the same process for removing the regulator. It's just to pop those rivets. So we're going to take our mallet and our rivet popper and we're going to walk over here. I've got everything all ready to go, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Of course, you know, first thing you want to do is be able to remove the window, but before you even get to all that point, you want to be able to diagnose when these regulators go out. It is a cable-driven regulator, and they are notorious for going out. And one of the things when you're talking to a customer and ask them questions is like, they'll tell you that the window's not rolling up and down. So one of the things you can tell them is, hey, if you press the button to roll it up and down, you'll hear it activate. You'll hear that motor, and you're going to hear a grinding noise. Really, they're not going to know the grinding noise, but you're going to hear it's wanting to go. It sounds like it wants to go. It's just not doing it. It's not doing anything. And what it is that motor is turning, and that cable's all bound up, and that's what's gone bad. But like I said, you've got the rivets. So we have the steel pins and then the rivet head, and you have to have access to them. And you're going to take the rivet popper, and we're going to stick this over this and kind of hit it a few times in the mallet. Sometimes you have to kind of get in a position where you can actually get down here, and you hear that pop and it drop. That's that stem we knocked loose. We got to have that out of the way to get this head drilled. Make sure I'm lined up right. So I'm not quite lined up right. Bam. You hear it pop, hit the bottom of the door. That's that stem. Once you get that out, you take your drill bit, and then you're going to drill that head. So we're going to... There's one. Two. All right. That does allow us to get the regulator separated from the glass. I actually had it set up here so it wasn't going to drop. I bought these from the Snap-on truck. You could use tape. You could use a wedge. You don't have to have the setup that I've got. But you literally probably could just leave this here. This regulator is also attached here with rivets. This is your motor. And then you have bolts here. These nuts need to come out. And once you do get it loose, you're going to pull it through here. On some of these models, they've got something that goes across. You're literally going to have to take out a bunch of stuff to get that out. So this will make room for that. But if you have the tools to do it, that is the process. You got to pop the stem, drill the head, and remove the door glass to get the regulator. And you're going to follow the same process, taking those rivets out. And then, of course, once you get to that point, it's just a matter of taking your part, getting it lined up, put your new rivets in, which we'll probably have to demo that. Okay, so we've got our new regulator in place, and for this one, it's been a while since I've done one, but we actually had to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rivets to actually get access to be able to take it out, which is a lot more than I thought. And that regulator came with rivets, but it didn't come with enough, so we actually had our own. These are them here, right here. This is the gun you're going to need. I've actually got everything all ready to go. I've got the new regulator installed. I've got a couple of the nuts up here at the top. And so we're just going to insert. We'll start at the bottom here. Make sure we're lined up. I'm going to stick this here. And I'm going to have to use a little muscle. So now we've got one. We've got one here. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, like I said, 9, 10. And this bar, actually, we had to remove this because this went across here like this, about right there. this need to be removed to get that regulator, once it was let loose, out of this access point on the side of the door. So if you are going to do a window regulator on the Crown Vic, be prepared to have to replace a bunch of these rivets. But this gun, you just insert that there. Actually, I think I'll open this up. There we go. I dropped the stem from the last one. There we go. There you go. Thanks. And we'll just start with one up here. Try to use both hands here. Bam. And this used to have a little pod on the bottom that would catch the stems as they fell, but I don't have that anymore. So then you just go through and you start installing your rivets, and then the door glass is actually installed the same deal. So this one does take a little bit of time, but once you get all the hardest part's getting them all out and then going back along, we're gonna plug up our motor so we don't forget that. It goes there. We'll get the rest of this put together and we'll have replaced a window regulator on a. So as far as the window, because really in the video was really just dealing with the rivets as far as removing, but when we're going to put this back in, I made a note that we really needed to share with you, and that is that, hey, you have these short ones for your regulator itself, but in order to reinstall this window, you're going to need the longer ones, because the longer ones are what's going to get you set up through. So this one here has got the longer one through it, and then the short one, it just doesn't have enough reach. Oh, of course that piece fell. That's okay. So you have to have the long rivets. So this is where it goes back to like when I was getting started in auto glass. I didn't have the gun. I didn't have the rivets, so I had just long bolts. And you might have to go find you a long bolt and nut to fasten the window to the regulator if you don't have everything you need. So started out just, hey, how to with these big rivets, but then specifically on this job, you're gonna need the longer set of rivets for the door. And of course the short ones are great for what you have as far as regulator, but you're gonna need those longer ones. So if you don't have that, get you a bolt, nut and bolt, and that'll do the trick for you. And that's it.